Wow, 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 Mario, this formula is something else. That's just done. That's the fastest makeup on my eyes I've ever applied, ever. Wow. Hi everybody, so today I've got to show you these cream matte eyeshadows from Makeup by Mario. I've got these three and another two here, so I've got 5 different ones to show you. He's also launched some new eyeliners, so I've picked up 2 of those, a blue and a taupe. So I'm going to try these as well for my final look because I'm going to create 2 different looks. So I'm going to use the liners to show you and we can see how those colours may or may not work together. I've also got some of the Unreal Lips from Charlotte Tilbury. I've got these 2 which I haven't actually tried before, and I've got another 2 to show you which I've used before. So I've got 4 shades of the Charlotte Tilbury Unreal Lips. So lots of good makeup and lovely products to show you today, which I'm absolutely excited about. I've been dying to get my hands on these Makeup by Mario liquid matte. I love Makeup by Mario, so I'm really excited to try these. This will be my first time trying them. I will also film a wear test so you can see how they last and how they look by the end of the day. So if you're new here, hi, my name's Hannah, I'm 48, I'm not a professional, I'm just somebody who really loves makeup and beauty, and here on my channel I show you the latest releases, my favourite looks, and give you any beauty news you might be interested in. If you think you'd enjoy this, I would love it ever so much if you did subscribe to my channel. Lots of people do tune in but don't always subscribe, so if you could, it really is ever so helpful, more than you might realise. But if you're already subscribed, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. And my skin tone for matching up with the shades you'll see today, I've got fair to light skin with predominantly cool undertones that can lean a bit neutral. I've also got blue eyes. Anyway, that is enough about me. Let's dive straight into this review. So my last 2 looks will both be 2 different looks with just 1 shade and a liner, and I might use some of his powders as well. I'm going to sort of experiment. But I'm going to look at these 3 first, so these won't be my final looks. And the reason I wanted to start with specifically this one is I'm thinking this one could just be quite a good base shade. So lots of people often enjoy having a base shade rather than a primer, so this would serve as a primer if it works that way. I've got nothing on my lid today to cancel out the purple, so I'm going to see if it does the job of cancelling that out and give me a good base for starting my eye look. So that's why I actually picked this shade up. This one is actually Sandstone. And some information about the products generally. First of all, if you're ordering these from the UK, you can order direct from the Makeup by Mario website. It takes 2 to 3 days to reach me and it is free shipping, so I really can't complain about that, although that might be because of the amount I ordered. So the free shipping might be down to how much is in your basket. But anyway, mine was free shipping ordering these 5. This is described as a medium to full coverage formula, applied effortlessly with fingertips or a brush. This can be worn alone or layered for a sculpted look or as a base underneath eyeshadow. Oh, there we go. That confirms this will work then. These shadows are a mix of warm and cool tones inspired by Mario's iconic Master Matte eyeshadow palettes. Use the doe foot applicator to swipe across the lid and blend out with your finger, or you can use a brush. It actually recommends the E6 brush. I'll see if I've got that one. Apply 1 shade all over the eyelid for a soft blurred look. Apply and blend 1 eye at a time for the most even coverage. There are a few other tips there, but I won't go through all of them. I'd rather just figure it out for myself actually than read all the tips, so I can make my mistakes as I go along. I just checked, I do actually have the Makeup by Mario E6 brush, so that's the one he recommends to use with this one to blend out across the lid. So it's a very small tip, the E6, so that's more of a precision brush, whereas there is the EF1 which has these sort of much thicker ends. Anyway, I will try to use those, see how they work. I haven't used them for a while. I do love the Mario F4 brush, if you know. I own 3 of them because I can't live without them. Anyway, let's start with Sandstone and have a quick look at the packaging. I do like the packaging. I love the fact that we're getting the colour on the tube. It's not like a sort of, how to say it politely, it doesn't look like a cheap tube. It looks quite classy. Anyway, if you can get classy looking tubes. But anyway, I like these. I like how smooth they feel. They feel almost like on the outside, like a smooth matte, as you would expect a matte to feel. So here is the doe foot. I think for the first time, I did watch a Mario demo when this first launched, and he put it on his hand, took the brush to his hand, he dabbed some on his finger, and he put it straight on the eye. So really, pretty much all sorts of ways. So let's just look at this. This looks like it will be a good base shade, you know. I've got the E6 brush. This isn't a shade I'm likely to wear on its own. I would imagine I would add to it, but let's just see how this looks. Gosh, how easy was that? So the E6 brush definitely does the job with this. Wow. Well, if you want the quickest base ever, that is incredibly quick and easy. I just feel like I haven't got so much there. That is because I didn't add it. Maybe it's because it's already drying down. It's gone on so quickly. Wow. Let's take my finger and pull it up to see if it moves with my finger. I feel like it's drying already, you know. Let me take the tiniest bit on my hand, I think. Always want to be careful, especially with a matte, going into this inner corner section of the eye. So I'm going to take a little bit off the back of my hand with this brush and just add a little bit more there. I think if you've got mature skin and especially dry skin, I would go with very light layers of a product like this, and personally I don't think I'll be layering them up as my sort of choice. That's why for the last look I'll just be going with the one. But for this one, because this is more of a base shade, I will layer this one up so we can see how they layer. But if you've got dry, mature skin, I do wonder if layering might become too dry. That actually looks fine. That is not looking too dry. It looks very complementary, I'd say. And it's cancelled out the purple in my eye brilliantly. It hasn't fully dried. There's a little bit of tackiness to it. Be interesting to see when I try at the end adding powders how grippy it is and whether it's got a full dry down. I think what I'll do now is move to another shade. So this one is Taupe. I think Taupe might work with this one if I was going to layer. So let's look at them both on the back of my hand first. So that's Taupe and that's Sandstone. That's the little bit I was just using just now. So I think these two will definitely complement each other, and probably these will be very popular, I would imagine, as base shades for just about everybody. I think because this one's got a bit more colour, I'm going to take it on my hand again, and maybe I'll start this time with using this end of the brush and taking some on the end there, and then I'll take the taupe to sort of do a light line here. So this eye, I'm thinking everyday easy wear makeup. So these two together, this really is extremely easy. This is going to be very popular for quick everyday on the go sort of makeup because it's just so quick. The amount of time to blend is minimal, and this is now going on top of the other one, and it's going on well actually. It doesn't seem to be getting thick or pasty. I think I need to be a bit careful with the line I've got there because it's too sharp. Maybe I'll take this fluffier brush from the other Mario brush and just go around the edges now to soften. Just see if I can, see if I've got time or has it dried down. I think the answer to that is I had time. Do you know, I think that would be a look for a lot of people for just everyday basic makeup. Maybe a bit of liner, mascara, and just leave it at that. That is so easy. Did you see that? Honestly, just so easy. So I think that's pretty much where I would stop with Taupe if I was going to use the two together. I'm getting enough colour with Sandstone. I would not be able to risk putting some sort of shimmer on. In fact, maybe I could show you the sort of shimmer I put on, but that is really what I was thinking more for the final look. So I've dug out both of my Ethereal Eyes palettes. I think I'll go with the Moonlight one today because that one's got more cool tone. I'm just going to look at the toppers. So this is the Ethereal Eyes Moonlight palette, and because we've just got taupes, I think probably one of these two would be a good topper. I think I'll go with this one. So I'll just take a little bit now on my finger and put this across the top. That is just a perfect, easy, everyday eye look. Oh, isn't that wonderful? I'm really pleased with how quick and easy this is. And I think from talking to a lot of you and getting feedback from a lot of you, you're going to love this. So if you've got just a nice highlighter or a couple of nice topper shades in your collection, any of those would work on top. And I think you could even skip eyeliner here because it's given me enough of a soft line. Just mascara, that's it. It's literally 2 minutes to do the whole look. Fantastic. So now let's try the other eye. So the other shade I've got is Blush. Now this shade, I'm not entirely sure if it'll work for me, but I think it's like a sort of cool tone pink. Yeah, it's a very nice shade actually. So here's Blush. So let's take this one more all over the eye, I think. So I will actually risk putting this directly on. I'll just stop there though, I don't want it to go there, the inner corner. And I'll use the same brush, I'll just make sure it's clear, it doesn't have any product on it. Are you seeing how quick and easily these blend out? Wow. Do you know what, these are quicker and easier, dare I say it, than the Armani. Just look, and the colour just spreads and softens like this. I'm absolutely over the moon with this. I think I can already say in just these few minutes, unless this wears badly, I've just found my new favourite liquid matte product. Wow. Wow, 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 Mario, this formula is something else. I think I will take this to the same colour to go underneath using the other end of this brush. So if you do want to get a Mario brush that's also going to be super easy, the E6, which I'm using now, you can use this to line and you can use this to style, or smudge out rather perfectly. This one would call for an eyeliner from me. I don't want to put an eyeliner on now because I'm going to be taking this off, so I have to be a bit kind to my eyes. I think I'm going to take a little bit more of this as well and bring it up a little bit higher. I'm just dabbing my brush onto it here. And then, as I did with the other one, you can go in with your finger as well, or you can take a slightly fluffier brush like I did with this one and go around the edges if you think you've got too much. I don't really think I do, but it's always good to have a nice soft edge here. I do have with me the Master Matte, the Neutrals, one of my most used palettes in my entire collection, and this is the one from, obviously, Mario. This is, you can see the mess is in. This is very neutral, but it's cool, which is why I love it. So for this one, I would probably, let's try and stick with this brush because I want to show ease of use here. So I'll stick with the E6. And I could go into the lightest one here, just to do the inner corner there. Very, very good inner corner shade, this one. Could go into the brow a bit. I don't want to go mad again because like I said, I will be taking this off. But I could go in with the end I was using as a liner and choose one of these as a liner shade. Maybe even try this grey today. Grey goes nicely with pink. Just pop a little bit here. So just a little bit of a smudgy wing and a little bit across the lash line with this grey. Nice and soft. And then going in with a fluffier brush to really soften that edge up because I just want it to be something really simple. And I think mascara then, again, you'd be good to go. Or you could add a bit of sparkle to the top of that. So why not do that again, because it's just hard to resist. So let's go into the white one this time. This is the one that actually has a bit of blue in it, so I don't know if this would work, but anyway. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have gone with that one because I remembered the blue as I put my finger on it, so I wouldn't maybe choose this one with this colour. In fact, let me immediately go to this one here again, which is the one I used on this eye. Sort of go over it a bit. It is beautiful, the one with the blue speckles in, but I'm not sure about that on top of the pink. But like I said, any sort of topper or highlighter is going to do this super quick job, and then you've just got a little bit of sparkle on top of that base. Wow, Mario. how quick and easy are these looks and how gorgeous are they. So these are the 3 colours we've looked at so far, and let's see if they move. And they absolutely don't. But I can feel them crumbling. Can you see that? As it dries, as I rub my finger, it does this. So that's where a check-in video is going to be useful. So it's dried down. After the crumbling that I got, which was just that sort of surface there, the colour has stayed. I don't know if that's just because I didn't let it dry down enough though, because here I'm not getting that sort of crumbly thing. Am I describing that terribly? Anyway, the key thing here is going to be the check-in video. So I'm going to take all of this off now, and I'm going to do a final look with 2 new shades, and they will stay on all day, and you will see how this looks at the end of the day. But for now, that's my super quick look using Sandstone and Taupe. And on this one, I've got blush, which now doesn't look quite so pinky because I put that bluey topper over the top. But anyway, I think they are absolutely fantastic. Really, I'm genuinely quite excited about these. Anyway, let me go off camera and take this off. No, I won't go off camera. I will show you how easy or not they are to take off. So I'm going to start just with a makeup wipe with nothing added to it and see how I get on with that, because as you've seen from my hand, this dries right down. So let's start with the side I did first. So that's had the longest time to dry down. Let's see how this comes off. Well, pretty easily, I think. So you can see the purple of my eye coming through, which means I've got it all off there. I'm not having to rub hard, so these are pretty easy to remove. The only thing I'm still seeing is a bit of that sparkle, because as we all know, glitters tend to hang around for days. Wow, well that came off really easily. So there we go, all off, just with a wipe. I didn't even need to go in with an oil. I didn't need to use my micellar water, just a wipe, which I wouldn't recommend for taking your makeup off in the evening. It's not the kindest thing to use. I'm using it purely for this demonstration, but if this can get it off easily, you're going to have no problem with your standard cleansing oils, creams, whatever you use basically. That's come off very, very easily. So it should be the same with my hand, I would imagine. Oh, maybe not. It's not funny. I'm having to scrub my hand a bit more than my eyes. But it is coming off. A bit more scrubbing. But it's coming off. I do think the wipe is a bit less wet than when I first started, which doesn't help. But anyway, there we go. Off. So I'll just put some concealer on and be back to show you the final look with the next 2. So I've got all of that off, as you've seen, and I've just put some concealer underneath, but not on the actual lid, so we can see again the coverage I'm getting from the new shades I'll show you next, without any sort of concealer or any sort of colour corrector on the eyelids. But quickly before I do that, I just quickly remove my lipstick because I want to show you 2 of the Unreal shades on my lips a little bit longer so you can get to see them. If you've seen my shorts reels, apologies if you've already seen these, but if you missed them, I filmed 2 try-on videos with 2 of the shades already from the Unreal Lips. So I'll play those back to back for you, and then I'll show you the 2 that I haven't already filmed. So here are those 2 clips for you. So yesterday, Charlotte Tilbury's Unreal Lips launched. I've picked up 4 of these, and I just wanted to quickly show you. They've literally come through my door. I wanted to show you the one I'm most excited about trying, and that one is the Cherry. So here is the box it comes in. It's called the Healthy Glow Nectar Oil. And here is the tube. I turn it round. So fairly sort of classic packaging for this type of product, but always a little bit more sparkly with Charlotte. And the most important thing about this is the fragrance. If this really smells of cherry and it hydrates my lips, then I'm happy. That's what I'm looking for. I love fruity fragrances. So here's the applicator, again, fairly standard with this type of product. I'm hoping it'll be a bit grippy as well, not one that just fades away in no time. So let's smell it. Oh yes. Oh yeah, that is really, really, really good. Oh, that is lovely if you love cherry. Fruity fragrances and cherry especially, you're going to love this. Let me just put some on the back of my hand. So that is how it looks. So it's fairly sheer, as you would expect really from a product like this. It feels like it's going to be pretty grippy, going by the way it is on my hand. So now let's apply it. I've just got a little bit of a very sort of warm light pink liner on, but nothing else. Oh, there's a bit of colour actually. Looking at it on my hand, I wasn't expecting any colour there. Pretty grippy. I wouldn't say it's the most grippy I've tried. It's like a cross between a balm and an oil. I haven't actually read the description, but that is exactly how it seems to me. It seems, yeah, well it is a nectar oil, but it does feel a bit balmy as well. It's like a light balm. It's definitely giving me a bit of colour, which is really nice. A nice bit of colour, nice bit of shine. I think that this hydration will probably last me about 2 hours because my lips are super dry. If you have more normal lips, mine are terrible, maybe you'll go 4 hours. That's a guess because I test so many of these, but that's what I would guess. But I will let you all know. I've got 3 more to try, so look out for more videos when I show you the other 3. But so far, this smells gorgeous. I like the packaging. Love the feel. It's not sticky at all. And it's obviously hydrating. Beautiful. A great addition to my huge collection of lip balmy products, but I really like this one. What do you think? This one is strawberry and vanilla. So here's the box. This is a nectar oil and this one is pH powered. So here is the tube. I really do like the packaging on these, you know. I really do. They're very similar to all of the others, but there's just something about the contrast between the colour and the sort of gold cap. I really do like it. So here is the applicator. Let's put a little bit of this on the back of my hand first so you can see it. So it looks very sheer. So when it says pH, is it going to change to a pink? I'll leave it on my hand and we can look at it at the very end of this video, but I think it is starting to change a bit there, isn't it? Anyway, let's get this one on the lips. At the moment, I've just got a bit of a liner that matches my lip colour nearly. Anyway, let's put this on. Oh, I forgot to do the smell. How could I forget that? Oh, that is so sweet. You can definitely smell strawberry, but equally vanilla. It's 50-50, I'd say. Oh, that's so gorgeous. It'd be hard not to eat this one. So very sheer, not seeing much colour with the instant application, but I think it's starting to get a bit more pink as it warms to my lips. Oh, it's definitely giving me some colour. It's sort of your lip colour but better is what it's given me. So it's not that classic pH sort of bright pink. It's just it's enhanced my natural lip colour. That is really nice actually, really nice. And again, the hydration is perfect. My lips are so dry at the moment. I really need that hydration. And when I tried it yesterday, it did last me a good, I'd say 3 hours actually. I thought it would last me 2, but I think I maybe got 3 hours. I've got super dry lips. I think if you don't have that issue, you probably get more like 5 hours, maybe 6. So there we go. But I think that's really pretty. What do you think? I love these so far. I can't wait to try the next 2. I forgot to look at my hand where you can see now that pH has definitely worked and you can see the pink. Have you picked any of these up or have you tried this one? I would love to know in the comments. And I don't have those 2 with me because they've literally sat next to me when I'm working and I keep topping up with them all the time because I absolutely love them, especially that strawberry one. And I really like the pH in that one because it gives me a pop of colour that lasts longer than the others. And it gives me the hydration. I love them. I love the fragrance and I think I can happily tell you these have the best fragrance out of any lip product in my collection. I adore them and I love the way they don't all smell exactly the same. Now I will never hear a bad word said against Fenty because I adore Fenty and I love the fragrances of Fenty, but they do tend to have the same sort of fragrance. So I love the fact that you are literally getting the fragrance of the fruit in each one, which I just think is an extra nice touch. And for somebody who grew up completely crazy about the Body Shop lip balms and all the different fragrances, it's making me very happy. So the only other pH one was the watermelon, which I didn't get. And somebody did ask me the other day about whether they'd be very different. I would imagine you'd get a similar sort of colour because I think it's paler looking at it, a lot paler, so you won't get quite as much pink in the actual gloss, but the long lasting sort of colour from PH I would imagine is going to be roughly the same, but I don't know because I didn't pick that one up. So the next one I'm going to show you now is the Peach, which I can't wait for because I love Peach. I love the packaging on these, I like the boxes, I like the tubes, I like everything about these, I really do. As I've already told you in those other videos, so I won't go on and on. Here is the Peach. So let's see what this one smells like. I can't wait. This is going to be really peachy. Oh wow, it is super peachy. Oh, this makes me happy. The only thing I don't like, and I don't know if I'm alone here, is that when I squeeze a lip balm, they all seem to have the actual angle of the tube on the side. So I want to squeeze it from there and apply like that, but you have to have it like this. I don't know if that's just me that gets bothered by that, but that does bother me. Only slightly. So I'm not really seeing much in the way of any colour from the Peach. But I am smelling peach so strongly. Oh. Lovely. But it is just a peach lip balm. There's no colour in this one. I'll show you on my hand. It's pretty much clear. Well, it is clear, isn't it? So let's leave that one. And the last one I've got to show you is the Fig. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, Candy Fig. So I'll take this off and show you Candy Fig towards the end. So let's now get back to Mario. And this time I'm going to be showing you both the liquid matte with the eyeliners. I picked up 2 new shades. This isn't a new line from Mario, but he launched new shades. So I picked up 2 of them. I didn't actually pick up any of the originals. So this will be the first time trying any of his eyeliners. So the next matte I'm going to try is this one, which is Mauve. So let's take a look at the colour of Mauve. I love how there's just so many cool tones in this. Mario is just so kind to us cool toned fans. So here we have Mauve. And let me just put this on straight away, I think. I'm hoping I can just use this with the blue liner as a major contrast, really. And this is going to be more of an evening look for me because I'm going to add things to it. But let's start off by just putting this on so you can see how Mauve would look if you just want it on its own. And you can see again how it just cancels out all of the redness. I just can't get over how quick and easy these are. Fingers or brush, I think you'll just find these an absolute dream. That's just done. That's the fastest makeup on my eyes I've ever applied, ever. Wow. I'm literally in shock. I'm putting a little bit on the back of my hand. I'm going to take this underneath as well, using the same brush, just the other end. These brushes, by the way, are fantastic for holiday as well because you can just take less brushes. So if you just take this with the products I'm showing you, maybe you'd want the fluffy brush as well, but it certainly makes packing a lot lighter and they definitely work very well. I think I'll take a little bit with the other end. I'm having to add a bit more to the back of my hand because it's drying down so quickly, so that is something to be aware of. I just want to take a little bit up here so you can see it above my hooded lid a bit more. Oh, I love that. And I was thinking, well, I will use a powder. I think I still will. So let me go into the neutrals and see what sort of shade would work. I'm thinking something like this one here from the neutrals. And I'm taking the very fluffy brush here because I'm just going to use this as a sort of softening shade for the top. Yeah, I think that works there. I'm not sure if this brush is a bit too thick to be overly precise, to be honest, but I'm trying to use these brushes today. Yeah, that works nicely with it actually. It just blends it out a little bit more of a soft edge. I think I'll leave it there. I think that's all I want to do with that. So let's go straight in with the blue eyeliner, which is going to be a big contrast now, but I do like mixing blue with shades like this, so it could work. Now there's metallic formulas with the eyeliners. Let me get the information. And they're a matte. So the Taupe is a matte, which I'll be showing you next. And this one is Midnight Blue, which is a metallic finish. These are full coverage eye pencils, perfect for defining, tight lining, creating soft wings. And it also has a custom brush on the end. They also came with pencil sharpeners, which, oh no, I do still have them here. Each one comes with a black pencil sharpener. Each sharpener comes with a cleaning stick. Can you see there? So just pop that out there. And it's a cleaning stick, so you can keep the liner clean, the sharpener clear if you collect any in there. What a little genius move. I've never seen that before. Maybe you have. Let me know if you have, but I haven't. Wow, Mario, thinking of everything here. Wow, I need to keep these sharpeners. Don't give them away because they look really handy. So let's now look at the blue. This is the brush on the end, by the way. It's going to be good for softening and blurring. I don't know if you remember the Christmas palette that I showed you when I was taking shimmers, the Ethereal Eyes Moonlight, but this shade made me think of this blue. And I love the way that this blue worked so well with these neutral shades, which is what probably encouraged me to try this. But you could probably try quite a few of these, including this one here, and mix around with them. So if you've got that, it's going to be great fun playing with this liner, these mattes. It's definitely all connected, isn't it, when Mario put these together. So let's try this blue. I'm going to try it under and above. At the moment that looks quite messy, but I'm going to take this brush here, which is softening it out very nicely and giving me that soft wing, which is what it promised. Oh, I like that. I don't think I would tight line with this shade personally, but I will take a bit here, tight to the lashes. I want to see the blue above, but I don't think I want to see it underneath today. So again, looks a bit messy. Now let's take the brush. Plenty of time to work with this. Reasonably creamy, but I can tell it's going to have a dry down. But I'm definitely having time to play with this as well, so that's good. Oh, that is lovely. Don't they work well together? I love it. Nice and soft. I think you could build both of the things I've shown you today. The matte could be built up to a deeper shade of mauve, and this blue could be definitely built up more, but for me, I love the soft nature of how I've applied that. That's exactly how I would choose to wear it. So now I'm going to choose a Taupe shade. Now I could go for the one with the blue sparkles, but I don't want to lose the mauve, so I will be more sensible. I think I might try this one today. This is slightly darker as a topper compared with the ones I tried, the first one I tried earlier. Oh, that works really nicely, doesn't it? So these new products are just fantastic additions to the line. I think you could quite happily just collect, well I could quite happily just collect Makeup by Mario products and not really need anything else. Because I love this brand. I really love it. Oh, isn't that nice? So I'm going to take the fluffy brush there just to blend out that Taupe shade there. I don't want to go too mad with taking matte above because I'm going to do my check-in video later, and I think the thing I want to see the most is how this looks in this area here. Has it moved by the end of the day? Have I got a white line here, as we often get in that crease? So I don't want to take too much else. I want to just leave the matte, so I'm going to leave it there, but I might play around with shimmer and other things normally. I'm just not going to do that today. So that's pretty much the end of that look. Very, very happy with that, but I will go in with the powder in the inner corner, the same shade that I used from the neutrals, although if you're just using this one, like, might as well do it now I've picked it up. This one works quite well as well. Let's do that today. It's not quite as light as the lightest one in the neutrals palette, but it still does a very good job. And if you want to sort of neaten up with it, it would probably work quite well. Yeah. Very simple look there. I love it. Right, so let's go to the last shade. The shade that's probably the scariest to use, but also the one I'm most excited about. And this one is Slate. This one is a blue-grey. And again, I think this one is going to be a good match for that Moonlight palette if you've got it. So here is Slate on the back of my hand here. Another really nice cool tone again. Thank you, Mario. So I'm going to take a tiny bit of this because I don't want a lot of this sort of dark shade to be intense on the eye. I'm hoping, just like I've been able to with all of the others, I can really sheer it out. So I'm just putting a fairly intense layer there, and then using the E6 brush, I'm going to start blending this, starting really in the outer V where I want that more intense shade. And then taking what's left on the brush and bringing it to the whole of the lid. Now, I feel like it's already dried down there, so even though it's taken a little bit on the brush, can you can see the very obvious point where it's dried down there. So I will need to take a bit more, which really emphasises how quick the dry down is on this. So that's the only thing that you might struggle with, is when you're going for one of these deeper shades, they do need a little bit more work, and the dry down is very quick. So I'm taking it off the back of my hand now to apply a bit more here to try and even that out. Definitely the trickier shade for me to apply this evenly because of that quick dry down and because it's got that more intense shade. But it's not difficult, it's just not that 1 second sort of eye look that I got with the others. It just needs a little bit more attention. Especially when you're trying to make this end lighter because you've got fair skin like me, and it just doesn't look too good when you get really dark. Well, certainly not on me anyway. When you get really dark in this section here. So I do want it to be a transition of dark to soft. So I'm taking sort of what's left on the brush with the soft layer, so I'm just bringing it up here a bit just before it completely dries down, and that's working quite nicely. I think from what I've just done, I would not apply a shade like this direct to the lid. Apply it to your hand or to a mixing palette, or take it directly from the dough fit and do it that way. That's better because you saw, I think, how it just sort of dried down there and was fairly quick to dry down and a bit more tricky to blend out, but nothing major. So I'm going to take a little bit now on this end again, run it underneath. Oh, I love this shade, you know, absolutely love it. It's going to need some sparkle to bring back some colour, but wow, do I love that shade. Rather than bringing it up too high, because I think this colour above my lid just will be too much, what I'm going to do now, I think, is go with a sort of taupey, I will use a different brush for this. I'm going to go with my Victoria Beckham blender, but I'm going to go with this sort of taupey powder from the Neutrals palette again. And now take this above, which should work quite well with this colour, I think. Yeah, I really like these two together. Lovely combination. Now into the lightest shade again here, for the inner corner, like I did with all of them. So nice. And Mario did suggest, I think, using the lighter shade of these liquid mattes for your inner corner, so you could do that, but I personally wouldn't. I would stick with powder for mature skin because I don't like putting this sort of product in that area. It's a little bit risky, but I have to say, on mature skin generally, it's looking like it's very good. I did think if I layered it, it would be way too dry on my lids, but I don't think it was when I layered it this side at the very beginning. So now, I don't know if this is even going to show up now, but let's hope it does. I've got the Taupe matte liner, so let me do a swatch of that as well. Back of my hand is in a terrible mess, so please ignore it. This is the Taupe liner, and this is the shade I've got on my eyes now. I'm leaving these on because I want to see the dry down. So this is obviously the metallic liner we've already seen, but this is a pretty dark Taupe liner. I literally have on my desk the Natasha Denona one. If you want to see the difference between the two, they're pretty close, but I'd say it's slightly cooler. So there's the Natasha one, and here is the Mario. Very similar, but just ever so slightly when I look at it on my hand, feel like the Mario one looks a tiny bit cooler. Thank you again, Mario, for looking after these fans of cool tones like me. Oh yeah, I love that on top of the blue. Taupe and blue go together so nicely. Same on this side where I use the mauve with the blue. I think if you go for the taupe shade eyeshadow and then the blue again, it would be the complete opposite of what I'm doing now, but it would work really nicely together. Now this is a shade I definitely could tightline with, so let's try that. Now go in with the brush end to do the smudging. So I just got that small wing there. Oop, just brushed my eyeball. Nice, now my eye's going to water like crazy. So don't do that. I think that blue sparkle has to be introduced for this one. It's the topper. I think it has to, doesn't it? So let's do it. So let's go into the Moonlight. I did actually get the other Ethereal Eyes palette if you've already got that, because the toppers in this, these are slightly warmer and these would be alternatives, but I've gone for fairly cool tone shades, so that's why I've gone for the Moonlight, but any of those toppers would work as well. So let's try that one that's got the slight hint of blue in, which is this one. I think it'll work nicely with this look. Oh yes. Oh wow. Oh wow, wow, wow. I love that. I love it. Can you tell? I love it. Oh, that looks stunning with that. Oh. With that base, that shade is so good. And I would imagine it's going to really grip and stay on top. So again, let's see the check-in tonight. So let's see if this sparkle has been dropping off or is it staying. So it does feel dry. There's also a feeling like there might be a bit of a grip. There's a tiny sort of bit of resistance as I'm doing this, and I think that means it'll grip to it. Oh, I absolutely love that. Favourite look out of everything I've done so far, quite easily. Gorgeous. So just take a fluffy brush now to just work that in a little bit, but again, I'm not going to take the sparkle up above as I would normally. I usually like a bit of sparkle above so you can see it with my hooded lid. I'm going to skip that today because I want to really be able to see how this area here looks by the end of the day. So the only thing left to do now is mascara. And I do have the Makeup by Mario mascara. This is the Shiseido eyelash curler, by the way, which I've been testing. And I have to say, I don't think I like it as much as the Refa one. I'm going to keep using it a bit longer, but I'm missing using my Refa already. So I'll go in with the mascara from Mario. This is a good mascara, it's not my favourite, and it does smudge on me a bit by the end of the day. So we'll see if it does that tonight. I'm not reviewing this, this came out a good few months ago now. It's, like I said, it's good, it's just not my favourite. It's very lightweight, separating and lengthening. But anyway, I'm not reviewing that, so I won't keep waffling on. I will go off camera and finish these and be back to show you the final look and the last shade of the Unreal Lips. So that is my final look with mascara with both of those looks. And like I said, I would take that shimmer and colour up a little bit higher, but we're testing it out today to see how these liquid mattes survive in the crease area by the end of the day. But I absolutely love everything I've tried. I found everything superbly easy to work with. The eyeliners, the liquid mattes, and obviously the mattes and shimmers, which I already knew I loved. I love the Ethereal palettes from Mario, especially the Moonlight one, which launched over the holidays, last holidays. So I'm just going to finish now with the last shade I've got from the Unreal Lips. So I've taken the other one off my lips, and this one is the Fig. Now, I don't know how Fig smells because it doesn't really have a very strong smell, does it? I know we get it in bath products, but let's see. Oh gosh. These are so good, these fragrances. I love it. Whether it smells like a fig, I don't know, but it smells like fig bath products anyway. Oh, that is so nice. So let's find a tiny bit of room here on my hand, because I still haven't shown you the longevity of everything. A lot more colour with fig than I got with the peach. So a little hint of brown on my lips, I think, because I've got quite pink lips. Well, I certainly have pink lips when I've been taking things on and off. They don't necessarily stay very pink, actually. So the brown doesn't show up massively. It's just a very much a hint of brown. I can't smell it as strongly as the peach or the strawberry. The strawberry and vanilla, when it comes to fragrances, is my easy #1 out of all the ones I've tried. And the colour of that, I love the colour. That is my absolute top recommendation from this release. The peach would probably be my second favourite fragrance. But it probably tied quite closely with the cherry as well, actually. The cherry is glorious. Anyway, safe to say I'm a massive fan of this Unreal Lips launch. We didn't particularly need any more of these. There are a million going around the market right now, but if you don't have any, or if you're running low, I would probably choose this one above the rest. I like the formula, love the packaging, love the fragrance, good longevity with the actual hydration. It's not going to go on and on. It's not like Ole Henriksen, grippy. And it's not quite as grippy as the ones from Lancome either. I think those ones have the same sort of longevity with hydration as the Ole Henriksen. They're the only ones I've tried that do. But these are pretty good. I think I prefer them to the Dior. Yeah, lovely, lovely. But today has been more really about showing you these products from Mario, and they are an absolute smash hit. They really are. Let's take a look now at these liners. So we have the taupe here and the metallic here. So let's see how they're doing if I rub them. The blue is definitely moving there, isn't it? Although I'm slightly concerned that I had a bit of the lip balm on my finger then, making that a slightly unfair test. But the Natasha Denona taupe, I actually had that on my hand yesterday from doing a separate video, and it was still there this morning after washing my hands so many times. But anyway, the Mario taupe, that's staying. If you want to compare it to the longevity of the Natasha. So it looks like the matte liners have much better longevity than the metallic. So it'll be interesting to see with my check-in tonight. We have the metallic liner here, the matte liner here, so we can test that longevity along with seeing the longevity of these liquid mattes. But if they do look good, then this is going to be an easy 10 out of 10 and a very, very big recommendation for me, because I think they are stunning. The easiest matte foundations, the easiest matte eyeshadows, liquid eyeshadows I have ever applied, quickest and easiest. They are super quick and easy to blend. They are so smooth. They look good on the eyes, they look good on mature skin, they're buildable, you can build other colours on top of each other, they cancel out any purple, so they work as a really good base, and you don't need to use any sort of concealer or primer underneath, so it's tick 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 for that quick makeup look, but it's also tick 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 if you want to go for that evening glam look. So it's my base here, which I loved, and then topping it with that stunning topper from the Moonlight palette. But anyway, I think these are stunning, so I would love to hear your thoughts. I'm not going to, I tell you what, if I just stop talking now and you watch my check-in video for this evening, let's take you straight there. So I'm here with the check-in video and it's coming up to 9 hours, so it's a pretty long check-in. I could have taken this a bit longer because I'll be up for another hour, but I thought this is probably a fair enough time to give you this check-in because that's a long time to be wearing this eye look. I do have a bit of glitter on my cheeks, but I do think you should ignore that, and we weren't actually testing out the shimmers, but that is literally because I've been putting my glasses on and off and touching my eyes and touching my face. I don't actually believe I've had any fallout from the shimmer, and the reason I'm bringing that up is because I do think the shimmer is sticking roughly to the eyeshadow. I say roughly because it dries down so quickly. I do think it adheres ever so slightly. I think if you really wanted it to grip, you'd have to get that shimmer on instantly, and not, I was talking and showing you lots of other things, so I would literally put the eyeshadow on quickly and go straight in with the shimmer if you wanted to really, really secure it. But I don't think I would have shimmer all over my face if I wasn't on and off with my glasses with my editing work. which involves me rubbing my eyes and forgetting I'm doing it. I can't stop myself, I'm afraid, and the glasses do it. But one spot of good news, one thing I did notice actually before I say that, which must have been obvious from the first video, is I've got this big streak here, which is where I took my eye makeup off and I took my blush off and I didn't correct it, so I've got this awful like streak. So if you notice that in the second half of the video, I do apologise. I left it then, didn't bother correcting it because I just wanted to remember it at the end. But anyway, one thing that was quite good is I haven't had any issues with the mascara. So maybe the Mario mascara just had an issue in the first week of me trying it, even though I did trial it for a good 5-6 days when I decided that's it. Normally that's my limit. I get to about the 5th, 6th day. If it's still smudging or not working for me, I give up on it, but it hasn't smudged at all. There is a tiny bit of dark patch there, but I've got a feeling that might be just where I've rubbed powder, because it doesn't look like a mascara smudge to me. So I think, even though again we are looking at the eyeshadows and the eyeliner here, I think that mascara has actually worked very well. Sorry, I just sneezed then, so if I'm looking a bit hot. Anyway, we're here mostly obviously to look at the eyes, so this is how both eyes are looking. And I don't really see any evidence of it moving in the crease of the eye. I think I can ever so slightly see a bit of movement there, but I'm not even sure if that's real. I don't know if that's because, if you remember, I didn't take things too high up. I think it's even me just being extra picky. I don't think it's there. It's not there on this eye. So in other words, it has not budged, it hasn't started to dry out, it hasn't gone flaky, it still looks complimentary on mature skin. My makeup has not moved. My eyeliners haven't moved. Now we did say that the taupe liner was a lot better when, if you remember from looking on my hand, compared to the metallic. And I do think the metallic is looking ever so slightly more patchy, the line there, compared to this side, which looks like it's exactly the same as earlier, but I mean ever so slightly. You can still see the blue pretty much as I did it this morning, underneath and above. And that's with me doing all this filming in very sticky weather at the moment. We've got very humid weather, so I think both of them, even though it did look like this eyeliner wouldn't last so well, but it does look like both of them have lasted very well. So both eyeliner and eyeshadow have stood the test, and they are both fabulous. And I can now officially say, beyond any doubt, this is my new favourite liquid matte eyeshadow. I think Makeup by Mario has absolutely smashed this one out of the park. It is phenomenal, phenomenal. It really, really, really is. If you haven't tried this yet, please try it, because if you're a fan of these sorts of products, you are going to love them. Try one maybe, make sure you agree with me, and then if you love them, look out for them maybe in sales. They're on Sephora UK, they're on Sephora US. I have put links below for everything I'm showing you today, brushes and products, so you will be able to find them. But that does mean you can look for Sephora sales, which we now get in the UK as well. So you don't have to rush out and buy all the shades now. Maybe just pick up one, see what you think of it, and then pick up more in the sales. But yeah, this is a permanent line as far as I know, and it is absolutely fabulous. Hopefully we'll just keep getting more shades, but I'm so delighted to have so many cool tone options. It's so rare this happens. And Mario also came out with a bronzer that was really good for cool tone, so he's really treating people with cool tones very, very well. Not that there aren't warmer shades too, but it's good to have that balance because we don't normally get that. So I think he's an absolute superstar. I really do. So there we go. What a successful check-in, and what a fabulous review this has been. I just can't wait to use them all again. I haven't put them away. I've kept them all out on my desk, and I'm thinking I just want to wear them every day. I'm going out for a meal to celebrate my son's 21st birthday tomorrow, so I think that's going to be my makeup of choice. I think this look here is the one I want to repeat because I particularly loved that. But wow, if I put this on first thing in the morning, I know that when I get back from that meal, which is going to be about 4 or 5 o'clock, the meal itself, so I'll get home about 7, 8 o'clock, I know I'm going to look like this. I'm confident, hopefully without this streak here, because I won't have done that again. Anyway, I shall return you now to me signing you off. So you've now seen my check-in video. I currently have absolutely no idea how it's gone. Hopefully it's gone very well, and this is still a 10 out of 10 video. I really do hope so, because I'm over the moon with everything I've just put on my eyes. I really, really am. But the standouts, whilst I love the liner and I really like the brush on the end, the standouts has to be these. Really, really does. And I don't know if I could pick a true favourite out of the ones I used. I really think they've all got different purposes. I think they're all fabulous. My favourite look is this one, but that's because of what I've added to it. I think the taupe liner worked brilliantly with this look, and I also think that that sparkly topper from Ethereal Moonlight is stunning with it. So if you want to go for this look, this, wow. And you could probably use any sort of taupe shadow powder, which is what I did across the top here, but also you could go for the taupe as well. You could start with that just in this area here, and then you could go in with this all over the eye. So lots of things to play around with. I think they work really, really well together. Just remember they dry down quick, so don't pile it on and then panic. Do it in little bits, and if you're worried about a strong colour, put it on your hand or a mixing palette and take it from your hand or the palette and do it in little bits, because it does dry down a bit quickly. But that does suggest it's going to really last. So let's hope so, and let's hope you've just seen a very successful check-in. So I do hope that you have found this helpful. And if you have, I would love it ever so much if you hit the like button. And if you're not subscribed, if you could subscribe, that would be so, so helpful to me. But if you're already subscribed, you're at the end of another review, and I absolutely appreciate every single one of you. And I really do hope to see you all again for my next video. Take care, everybody. Bye.